Ask and you shall receive. I want to give a special thank you to all the awesome men that responded and commented to the poll that I sent out a few weeks ago. I asked you whether or not you were sick and tired of hearing me talking about attraction and dating. And I was glad to hear that I have not bored you just yet. But I was also really happy to hear the suggestions of what else I can provide advice on and guidance on when it comes to women, because I've given you everything. So I wanted to have more to talk to you about. So my point is that I heard you and I'm going to continue to hear you. One of the requests from many guys was to talk a little bit more about the latter stages of attraction with women. So today I'm gonna go really ladder and I'm gonna talk to you about the 10 things you must do to keep a woman long-term. Again, this goes way past the beginning stages of fun, attraction, and dives deep into connection, relationship maintenance, and mindset for a successful relationship that will last forever. So keep watching. Before I jump in and give you the gold, I want to remind you that if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like me and want to make sure you never miss out on the critical information that I share every single week about how to attract women and be the man women want, then hit subscribe below now. Before I tell you the 10 things you must do to keep a woman long-term, I do want to say one thing. I know I give you a lot of advice about what you need to do, but don't think that means that women have it easy and they can just sit back and have you do all the things for them. These women are not off the hook. There are tons of other dating experts for women that are pumping out similar advice that I give, but I'm giving it to them on what they need to do to make you happy and keep you happy. And most women will want to do these things if the man in their life and the men in their life are doing these 10 things that I'm about to share. All right, so let me ask you a question I want you to be really honest about. Do you want to be in a relationship with a woman who adores you, who admires you, who respects you, or do you want to be a weak, dominated man who is tolerated? One thing I teach my guys is how to be the kind of man who's desired, the kind of man who's not taken for granted, the kind of man whose woman looks at him like he's a piece of meat, but a good piece of meat, nothing less. That's what you should be aiming for, because anything less is a recipe for disaster and heartbreak. If you can commit to doing these 10 things for the woman in your life or the woman in your future life, then I promise you will have the kind of relationship I just talked about, with a woman who is going to adore you, love you, and take care of you forever. Let's get into this list already. This list is borrowed from an amazing article that one of my clients sent to me, and it was written by a newly divorced man named Gerald Rogers. And he wrote this wonderful list of 20 pieces of advice he wished he could have had years ago that could have saved his marriage. But I cut this list down to 10 pieces of advice just to give you what I thought were the most important ones. And some of them were like a little bit too much for me, and I didn't really agree with them, but these 10 are amazing. So I'm just gonna read his list verbatim because I agreed completely with the 10 things on this list. And why change perfection, right? Okay, so please keep in mind that this list is for men, but all women should have their own list of rules to follow if they want a loving, healthy relationship. All right, ready? Finally. All right, number 1, never stop courting. Never stop dating, and never ever take that woman for granted. When you asked her to marry you or to be in a relationship with you, you promised to be that man that would own her heart and fiercely protect it. And this is the most important and sacred treasure you will ever be entrusted with. And she with you. She chose you and you chose her. Never forget that and never get lazy in your love. Number 2, be there for your woman and don't try to always solve. Just be. When she's sad or upset, it's not your job to fix it. It's your job to hold her and let her know it's okay. Let her know that you hear her and that she's important and that you are that pillar on which she can always lean. The feminine spirit is all about change and emotion, and like a storm, her emotions will roll in and out. And as you remain strong and unjudging, she will trust you and open her soul to you. So don't run away when she's upset. Stand present and strong and let her know you're not going anywhere and you hear her. Listen to what she's really saying behind the words and emotion, that you hear her. Number 3, be silly. Don't take yourself so damn seriously. You gotta laugh and make her laugh, and laughter makes everything else easier. Number 4, fill her love bucket every day. So learn her love languages and the specific ways that she feels important and validated and cherished. Ask her to create a list of 10 things that make her feel loved and memorize those, and make it a priority every day to make her feel those things. Number 5, be present. Give her not only your time, but your focus, your attention, and your soul. And do whatever it takes to clear your head so that when you're with her, you're fully with her. Treat her as you would your most valuable client. Number 6, be willing to take her sexually, to carry her away in the power of your masculine presence, to consume her and devour her with your strength, and to penetrate her to the deepest levels of her soul. Let her melt into her feminine softness as she knows she can trust you fully. All right, this is where I needed to add my 2 cents and paint a real picture of women and sexuality. This one, George, was a little too flowery for me. And as a woman, when I think about sex, the kind of sex that is missing from most long-term relationships is not flowery sex. It's the sex that existed at the front end of a relationship, the desire-driven sex that tells a woman she's wanted and sexual. Because here's the deal. Women want sex. And women in relationships want it even more, and they also want to be seen as sexual creatures. That means that you not only have to love and respect them, but you also have to show her she's wanted and desired on a sexual level. Not a sexual vessel, which is what tend to happen, but a sexual, sexy, feminine creature. Number 7, be vulnerable and fully transparent. You don't have to have it all together. You don't. Be willing to share your fears and feelings and quick to acknowledge your mistakes. This is how you get close and make her feel special. If you let her into your world, then she's going to let you into her heart. If you want to have trust, you must be willing to share everything, not keep it from her, especially those things that you don't want to share. It takes courage to fully love, to fully open your heart and let her in when you don't know if she's going to like what she finds. Part of that courage is allowing her to love you completely, your darkness as well as your light. So you got to drop the mask. If you feel like you need to wear a mask around her and show up perfect all the time, you will never experience the full dimension of what love can be. Remember that. Number 8, never stop growing together. The stagnant pond breeds malaria. The flowing stream is always fresh and cool. Atrophy is a natural process when you stop working a muscle, just as it is if you stop working on your relationship. Find common goals, dreams, new hobbies, adventures, experiences, and visions to work towards. Number 9, forgive immediately and focus on the future rather than carrying weight from the past. Don't let your history hold you hostage. Holding on to past mistakes that either you or she makes is like a heavy anchor to your marriage or relationship and will always hold you back. Forgiveness is freedom. Cut the anchor loose and always choose love. And finally, number 10, always choose love. Always choose love. In the end, this is the only advice that you need. If this is the guiding principle through which all your choices is governed, there is nothing that will threaten the happiness of your relationships or relationship. Love will always endure. In the end, relationships aren't about happily ever after. They're about work and working together, a commitment to grow together and a willingness to continually invest in creating something that can endure eternity. Through that work, the happiness is just going to come effortlessly. Embracing all the cycles, the ups and downs, and learning to learn from each other and love each other will bring the strength and perspective to keep building one brick at a time. So he finishes with saying this: these are lessons I learned the hard way. I being him. These are lessons I learned too late, but these are lessons I am learning and committed in carrying forward. Men, this is your charge. Commit to being an epic lover. There is no greater challenge and no greater prize, and your woman deserves that from you. Be the type of man your woman can't help but brag about. Because I love bragging, so be that guy. And I loved reading this. You may or may not have someone special in your life right now, but this list is the key to having a successful long-term relationship filled with happiness and sex and love. So I've included a PDF of this list in the description below because I want you to always have what I've told you in your back pocket. Whether you have just started a relationship or are deep into a long-term relationship or no relationship at all, this is truly the key to happiness. I don't want you to go through what this man went through. I don't want the pain. I don't want it for you. Learning way too late where he went wrong when his relationship could have always been saved, that's awful. So here's another question I've got for you. Do you want to be the type of man who can do the 10 things I've listed without feeling like a doormat or a wimp or a pushover? The kind of man that women crave, desire, and brag to their girlfriends about? Luckily for you, you don't have to go through years of trying to figure out how to connect with women or waste time meeting women who you'd never have a connection with in the first place, or make all these mistakes, because I've created a training program that can help you create trust, connection, and intense love with any woman you darn well please. And it's called Beyond Attraction, How to Emotionally Connect and Build Trust in Your Relationships with Women. I'll guide you step by step through the methods you need to communicate that not only attracts them, but also creates a deeper level of intimacy and connection that'll make you irresistible in her eyes and hands. Briefly, here are some of the things that you're gonna learn in this program. The honest truth about what women think and how they wanna connect with you. Real life conversations, mock understandings, and the reality behind the typical things women say and do, which you need to know. Proven methods to naturally connect with women through every phase of the relationship, from conversation to the bedroom to marriage, if that's what you desire. Strategies on how to understand and connect any person of the opposite sex so you're more charismatic, likable, and a joy to be around. The doctor created a tune method that shows you the science behind what women want in every step of the relationship so you know your next move. How to give women instant gaga juice, the secret way of attracting her in seconds and literally making her go gaga over you, which she'll be telling her friends all about. So don't worry. Get all of this and more by going to winggirlmethod.com/beyondattraction or clicking the link below in the description box. And my plan was to put this program up for the valued price of $197, especially since I've tested it on so many guys so far and they've gotten amazing results. But for a limited time only, you can have it for $24.99. That's less than the price of an overpriced meal at your local restaurant. And you can learn everything you need to know about creating and keeping that intoxicating feeling of connection and trust that women crave. What I share in this program will help you unlock so many sides of your woman that she won't be able to control how much love and love making she's wanting to give to you. To learn more, go to winggirlmethod.com/beyondattraction or click the link below in the description box. I'll see you next week.